Welcome everybody to the Donald Duck no Maho no Boshi, or Donald Duck and the Magical Hat submission video. So glad you're here watching. This game is an absolute gem. This was the very first game that we did for Solar Speed League, which is a group of people in my community that come together for 2 weeks and they play a not so well-known game and try to come up with speedrun tech and what have you. And after 2 weeks, we bombard the leaderboard on speedrun.com with our times. And this game had 3 times on it before, and now is well over 12, I think. So it's really awesome. It's very much a platformer, and we're going to be talking about all the different speedrun tech through it. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, a little bit of story. Daisy wants a hat. Donald doesn't have any money to buy the hat, so we got to earn some money. Now, you have 4 stages you can choose from at the beginning of the game. We're going to choose 2 of them, because that'll get us to $300. And the first of which is cleaning windows. So off we go. Now, as soon as we step off this elevator, we're already going to be doing speedrun tech. When you walk up to a window and you press A, Donald will start cleaning the window without you having to do anything else. But if you press A, and then press a direction real quick, you'll cancel the clean. So if you get half of the clean done, cancel it and start again, you'll actually clean faster than if you just let the cycle play out. So for all 25 windows, we're going to be trying to do that. So you can see all the tenants here. As playful as they might be, if they do hit us with falling objects or baseballs, we will take damage. We can only take 3 hits without losing a life, so we're going to be a little careful here. Now, what's nice about this game, you can't really lose your progress. You can game over, but you'll still end up at the same level you were on. So, as far as marathon safety, there's not something awful that can really happen here. So, we're $120 short. Time for speed trial. We gotta reach the end in the allotted time. There's Goofy there. We all love the Disney characters. Now, these pegs we're jumping off, we'll talk about in the next level. They have their own little mechanic that's pretty important. But our main goal right now is to get to the end and avoid a bunch of pitfalls and traps and guys throwing pies at us. Alright, so these pegs. Depending on when you jump off of them, you'll go at different speeds, you'll go at different angles. And that's got a lot of inherent speedrun tech associated with it, which makes this level right here really pretty when it works out nice. So why are we here? We're here because the hat that we were so desperately trying to get was sold out. And so we came here as a last-ditch effort. And there's a hat at the top here. So we're going to try to get through here as quickly as possible. It's a speed run after all. Avoid these spikes here. Alright, almost at the end. Not too bad. So, we find this magical hat up here. And it turns out the evil King Pete has this new power. We must defeat him. So we have to go through all these levels. So we're transported to this magical land now, to where we have the real story begin. So first level here is the village. A lot of pitfalls and traps. We can actually do damage to enemies now, whereas before we couldn't. Now, it's a little difficult to see on this level, but there are strats for lag reduction there, because lag becomes a thing in this game. Now we have the first boss of the game, and the first source of a lot of RNG, the village boss. He's gonna pop out of these barrels, or he'll send spikes out the barrels. We're gonna hope we get some good RNG. That's unfortunate. A little bit of bad with the spikes. Can't really do too much about that. Alright, hopefully one more hit, he'll be done. There we go. So every time I do a hit on an enemy, I'm going to try to do a head bonk where I press down as opposed to just jumping on top of them. That's because that head bonk does more damage, and that's how you kill bosses faster. So that's the village out of the way. You really got to love the playful tunes. I mean, the village theme was pretty good. Now we're going to the snow world. We have to race this rabbit. If the rabbit runs into us, we take damage, get pushed over. So with this level, timing is very important. I'm going to be going fast here in a second, and I need to be sure I don't fall down in any pits, otherwise we get slowed down. See how it goes. That's awesome. Alright, level done. We didn't fall down off any rooftops. Fun little quick level, not too bad. We're going to continue this process going through these different worlds until we get to that castle up in the sky to face the evil king. Alright, so this is the mountain level. Scary jump right here. Not too bad. Alright. First part of the level done. We're going to get a little bit of a fast shoot up there, and now we get the second half. Hopefully this goes okay. There we go. A little bit scary, but that went okay. Nice jump. And we're at the boss already. So this boss, a little technical. You want to make sure you hit him and not let him get to his hammer. He'll always start the fight throwing his hammer, but if you don't hit him in time, he'll pick it back up, and there's a long cycle after that that you have to deal with. Go to the cave next. The cave has a boss that's a little RNG dependent. For a marathon, we would probably do a safer way for it. We'll see how it goes. But we've got this interesting little level we have to go through with seesaws. This is another case of lag reduction that we go through too. I'll see if I can show some examples. So if I step on that switch without falling down with it, I'll save a few lag frames, which is nice. Did that again, that's cool. So all these little mirrors take us to different areas of the cave. Let's see if we get the lag jump here. A little bit of lag there. That's okay. At least we didn't get hit. Some more fun music. Fun to go through this. Now we have this boss. So this ghost moves opposite of us. So I'm going to try to manipulate these icicles. A little unlucky there. Alright, well, he'll be done soon. So, the simple way to go about that boss is to take a hit and just stand directly in his hitbox and let the icicles fall. That's a little... that leaves you up to a lot of RNG. You can push him in certain directions, but we got a little unlucky with how that played out. Alright, we're in the forest now. This place is a maze, and this is an example of why I love this game. This level is completely different from all the other levels in the game. So we get that clip that I found. And what's neat about this level is the surface that you're standing on rotates the world when you go through a corner. So what is the floor right there is also the ceiling in a different orientation. So we're at the boss here. I'm going to be trying to do a little bit of a difficult strat here. We'll see if it goes. Alright. Nah, I messed it up. Little too early on the jump. Alright, so we'll come back. So this boss itself is really interesting. We're on this rotating little planet-looking thing. Kind of like World 6 Raven from Yoshi's Island. That kind of sense. But we rotate the planet. The planet has its own rotation that we have to go with in certain instances. But there are some ways to manipulate it. It's a fun little level, especially with that clip. With all those levels beaten, we now get onto the blimp and we go through the flight stage. Now this is an auto-scroller. Of course, every game has to have at least one auto-scroller, right? This is horrifying because it's a long level and one drop, you gotta go all the way back to the beginning. There are no checkpoints and levels in this game. This is, in fact, the longest level in the game, I believe, if not the second to last level. So we can jump on these clouds, we can jump on these two platforms on the blimp. Those little clouds right there, they will knock you back and end you. So you want to avoid those best you can. Happy little music we have here. Do-da-da-da. Now, for marathons, a lot of people like donation incentives, right? Well, there is something awesome at the end of this run that would be fun to do. We'll talk about it when we get there. That cloud right there can really mess your day up. So the thunder clouds, if I touch them, I'll take damage while they're illuminated blue. So I need to be careful of that. Last scary jump. Many of us have shorted that jump. And just other places here. This has killed many runs before. This would be the worst section in the marathon to die, but I'm assuming about a 20-minute time period for this run, so it should be perfectly fine, even if something like that happens. Jump of Faith right there. Just at the right point to where you touch the end of the game, or the end of the level without dying, but you can actually end the level there. Alright. So we have 3 levels left. This level is really pretty when it goes well. Non-stop running. Well, it just looks nice when it happens. And then we get the teleporter maze. Was a little fast at the beginning, so I was going to get hit by that regardless of what I did. Make it up that green. And this is where I'm going to actually make it over here. These bosses get pretty interesting. Alright, so that's the end of the level. We're going to get to the Juggler. Juggler can have 3 different cycles. It's all RNG. Starting with a normal cycle. Now he's got either a normal or a long cycle. So that's a normal cycle. Unfortunately, I got hit, but we have plenty of HP right now. Alright, that's a short cycle. And these cycles are just based off the length of how long he's rolling on the ball before he moves those out of the way. Ooh. Wasn't sure if that was going to be long enough. That's a normal cycle. And that's a short cycle. And there he is. It was a good fight. That was a really good fight, actually. Castle 2. The final auto-scroller of the game. So we have this maw coming down at us. And you'll see here there are lots of sources of lag. That fish on the bottom, this thing coming up and down. Ideally, we don't jump. unless nothing's moving or it's not even on the screen. So yeah, we have that hat we can actually pull over ourselves. It's a shorter jump, but that's okay. Gonna wait for everything to stop moving, then we'll go. We're just gonna jump on him. The quicker you jump on those, the less lag, so that's nice. I think, see, this is not something that I brought up. This is a really good question. What is Donald eating there to restore health? They look like chicken legs? Are they duck legs? What are they? Mind destroyed. So, we're almost at the end of this stage. One tiny more little bit right here. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we get the kangaroo boss. And the kangaroo boss is where your runs will either PB or not. You have to manipulate what he's going to do, and even then it's based off RNG. So I got a really bad start right here. He should be winding up the punch. There we go. What? Oh, I missed my chance there. And there it goes. So there's a few different things he can do depending on if you're inside or outside of his punch zone. So you try to go into his punch zone and then out of his punch zone. So this is the final level of the game. It is very pretty to watch when it goes well. Get some quick hops off that. This is the scariest jump in the game right here. But that's okay. There we go. That leap of faith. You either make that or you're dead. So, of course, every game needs a Pete final boss. So here's Pete number 1. Nice quick fight. Can't complain about that. Pete number 2, here we go. So you can almost quick kill him. Get back on his hand here. And it seems I reset my timer accidentally. But you could have saw the time on there. Probably 40 seconds off PB. That went really, really well. This is such a fun game. I'm really happy that I could show this to you. But we got to talk about donation incentives, right? I brought that up. So it wouldn't really make sense to have something like play the other 2 levels at the beginning of the game. That's... actually, I don't think you can. I think after you reach 300, you're cut off anyway. But what this game does offer as a donation incentive, you heard all the wonderful music as we went through the game. I mean, the game looks beautiful, by the way. It's a Super Famicom game, like I said. Looks beautiful. And this is ideally being submitted as a race between myself and Verts505. If this is for SGDQ. If it's not, if for something else, then it's a solo run. But this is a fun race game, too. Because anything can happen. And it's fun to either rag on each other when something bad happens, or just commiserate when something bad happens. But among all that fun, you have the game's best feature. Donald finally gets the hat that he wanted for Daisy. Daisy's so excited. And that gives us this beautiful song. And if you so deem it, as a donation incentive, I can sing along. Or quack along if you prefer. It's fun, it's a blast. For SSL, we made it mandatory for most people that wanted to do it, that your run wasn't valid unless you quacked at the end of this. So thank you for watching. Please consider this for acceptance into your marathon. It's a blast to show. And quack.